All right. I know this is a bit makeshift, but the problem is a lot of my tools and equipment are not here. I just did a big move, and all my clamps and everything are in storage. So I didn't want to leave here. I wanted to get this glued up. So here we are, just trying to get through it. I added some blocks back here because uh, I just didn't quite have enough room for the flange of the mold, and I wouldn't have been able to sleep knowing that I was missing a piece. So I added those on. Everything's tight to the table, and the joint is tight, and there's good squeeze out everywhere. That's what I'm looking for. Same with this one. Nice and tight to the table. Let's see in there. And good squeeze out everywhere. So that'll be happy. This is for the nose area. You can see really tight to the table, looking pretty nice. And these cuts, I barely made it through this. I have a large bandsaw, but it isn't here. That's all I have over there. And that thing was struggling, but I managed to get the parts cut. That's all that really matters to me today. Um, this joint, in another section of the video, I showed that this surface was a little bit open on each end after cutting this. This has good squeeze out. It's what I'm looking for. I have a table I'm building right now over the next week or two. It's a 30-foot long, very flat table with, it's like a carbon sandwich panel uh, top, but it's not off the shelf. It's something we're making. It's about an inch thick with a honeycomb core, and so that's an autoclaved part, and that'll be here, and that's what I'm going to be using to build this plane on. Um, but until it gets here, I don't have a table for this glue up that's as flat as this machine bed or the spoil board. So this is where we're at, and I just put one single course of tape uh, down for any squeeze out, and I mark the center of the tape. Uh, so when I put the molds down, I know that I'm centered on the clear box tape here, and any squeeze out underneath there doesn't stick to the table. And if it did, it's not a big deal. It's just the MDF. It'll pop off, and then I'll sand it off the back. But what I wanted to show is that, and see, if I had clamps, I could clamp this and probably close this up and get squeeze out here, but I can't quite get it tight enough. And I don't have squeeze out right in this last like 4 or 5 inches. So I went ahead and taped this up, and I have some just straight epoxy without any filler in it here, and I'm going to get a heat gun. I'm going to try to put it in there, and it's not a big deal. So if I didn't fix this tomorrow, I'm going to machine this whole back section. I could glue it up, machine the mold, and all there's going to be is a small little area that needs to be filled in the tool. But it'd be nice to not have to work on that once it comes off the machine. So, if this doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to go ahead and try to get this epoxy to weep down into that hole, and I'll use a heat gun, and I should be able to see bubbles and stuff coming up as I go, and I'll just try to fill it up. I don't think it's going to get all the way to the bottom to the point where it tries to migrate underneath the blocks, because the blocks are, for one, they're kind of weighted down to the table. I've got like 150 pounds on this one, and I just want to keep everything tight. But anyway, I'm going to try to work on that, and then tomorrow I'll glue up these two blocks in between those two, and then we'll have an actual blank for machining one mold half.